It's your girl Sam, and I'm coming to you with part 2 of my contact paper countertop series. Some materials you'll be needing is this contact paper. I bought 2 rolls just in case I need more or make any mistakes. Again, I hope I don't, but I can also use the extra stuff for other projects. I'm also using some scissors, this wallpaper tool that kind of smoothens things, and it can get into corners. I might need this, or maybe I'll just pull out a credit card. I'm also going to use this for exact cuts like around the sink. These aren't necessary, but I wanted to try some peel and stick backsplash tiles on the side of my sink because previously I put contact paper up it. This has a little bit more texture to it. Alright guys, I kind of did side tricks to ensure that the paper goes on evenly once I apply it because I am planning to start all the way from the top. I only recommend this if you are very confident with what you're doing and you're willing to do it again if possible. And you have extra contact paper because I want to do a seamless kind of thing around the sink. That way no water can get in the cracks or it's easier to wipe and clean, blah blah blah. My last final big layer is going to go on in one piece. I'm going to have to cut around a hole in the sink and make sure that gets stuck in there real tight and nice. But one thing I wanted to note is I was thinking if I do add the size, what happens if for some reason it doesn't end up even and I'm all the way out here and there's a blue gap showing here, you know? That would be terrible. I decided to go in and add a piece on top of what existed before to make sure we hide all of that. So I put it a little bit here and here. So the backsplash is going to go here to block off this wall, and then we'll have this nice piece here. In case it fluctuates towards the end, I recommend you do that as well. If this over here allows me to have a little bit of room for error, so that's how I'm going to keep it. You can do whichever way you want. I'm just showing you how it worked best for me, so I don't have to keep lifting it and putting it back on and stressing myself out. Yet another buffer, because I realized that if I bend it here weird, it will show over here. So my mom's been helping me and I kind of just went for it and cut a big hole in the middle. It does matter to do that because earlier, if we were on that track, it would have done this because there's curves. But now that we're doing it better, it's gonna line up again. I started cutting it like a fringe so that I can slowly go out of the circle to get that perfect cut around the sink. I'm really glad that I made the buffer because look at how this is slowly going off the edge. So close to done, but I ran into a dilemma because since it was diagonal over here a little bit, we started from one corner, came around on another corner. It is now weird in here, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to cut it in half somewhere, then we'll peel it off and flatten it down. If for some reason you have a little bit of excess like this and it won't stick under, I cut some strips. They don't have to look perfect because no one's gonna see them. Now I go and line it up as much as I can to the part that's sticking out. All right, as you can see, it's adhered, and then we go ahead and push it all underneath. I could have just cut it, but I didn't want it to look like jagged, so this way it looks more like a smooth finish. Again, attach it. Yep, and there you have it. Push it in, continue to push it in for real. Sometimes if you are too rough on the card, it'll make it cut itself right there, as you can see. Continue to be careful with what you are doing. Let's do this again. Push it in, slice, remove, push, and we repeat the rest of the way. I was worried because it looked a little see-through. I ended up testing it on this piece and it seems fine to me. Alright, so this is the first part. It didn't go on 100% perfect, but I have some tricks. For example, if you're trying to do a really straight edge and eventually it goes like the edge is starting to go here and you can see the wood behind it, I went in and made a vertical strip, like maybe like the width of my finger along this. I'll go ahead and clean it up later if I need to. There's a part in the middle here that doesn't account for sticking out to certain wood. So sometimes you might end up with it swaying one side. So what I did was I chose a dark side of the wood so that it'll match up. Here's another one I finished up. I put the wood on top of the styrofoam so it doesn't have to touch the surface. My little sister helped me a little bit on this because I needed someone to lift the stuff while I was trying to get the middle down. I was watching a YouTube video because someone had cabinet doors like this and they did their whole kitchen with contact paper. So shout out to her. I'll link her video down below for the method. And I'm gonna go in and, you know, do the corner method she showed. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this out and see how it looks after. I managed to get more of it on and we're at the point where the toilet paper roll holder is here. The other side of this doesn't look really stable if I unscrew it out. So I'm gonna try to leave it in and just cut around this. We made it past the hard part and now we're just gonna keep going down. There was a point where I accidentally ripped it to this point-ish, but you kind of can't really tell anymore because of the wood grain. I recommend using wood grain or something with a slight print so that way if you accidentally make mistakes, you don't have to throw the whole thing away and it can still work out. So before I kind of made this mistake, and I'm okay with leaving this here, I'm just gonna fix it up to look nicer later, but this inside part I cannot stay in because it looks so bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the whole inner part. I didn't want to do this, but I've decided it's what I've got to do. So I'm gonna take out the whole center part and then only do the center part again because I found a grain that will line up perfectly with this. Alright, so I cut the center out and I left a little bit, like 3-4 millimeters of the edges, just in case something happens when I do it. Alright, so I wanted to show you an example of taking advantage of things that look seamless. So right here, you can see it doesn't cover, but if you cut along this line, it kind of looks like that piece looks a little bit more like it's meant to be there. And you can go ahead and try this with different places, but it just looks better than what it originally was, just straight up like this. So it's gonna blend in a little bit more as if it went through that way. I'm gonna fix the top. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked my little mini series on contact paper countertops. And let me know if anything helped you or you learned anything new, or if you have questions, feel free to comment down below. Feel free to stick around for more by subscribing and thumbs up the video if you liked it. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. Bye! Aren't you tired of the drama? You use your words like they are knives. I don't need that type of drama and trying to